On this day, we started with the expression the square root of 5 times the square root of 7. Now, since the sides or the multiples would not be the same, it's not going to give us a square, we're going to have a rectangle. The shorter side of the rectangle would be labeled the square root of 5, the longer side would be the square root of 7. Multiplying these two things together, we get the square root of 35.
Okay, so I've got 3 square roots of 5. Remember at the beginning of the year when we were talking about numbers and you got your first number, you got your second number, what does the first number tell us? Whitney?
That, like, like 3 times.
Well, it is 3 times the square root of 5, but what does the first number tell us? Braden?
How many groups?
How many? This is how many groups. What does the second number tell us? Olga?
Like how much is in each group?
Yeah, or we can just say the size. So what is 3 square roots of 5? What does it mean, Earl?
That you would divide the rectangle into 3 different sections, and each of the area of the 3 is square root of 5.
Each of the area of here?
No, each of the sides.
Yeah, each side is going to be the square root of 5 because on this side I am multiplying 3 square roots of 5. What am I multiplying 3 square roots of 5 by? What?
Square root of 5.
Square root of 5. So that's going to go on the other side of my array. Now, if I look at these pieces individually, I have the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 equals what?
Square root of 25.
What's the square root of 25? 5. Square root of 5 times the square root of 5 equals what? 5. Square root of 5 times the square root of 5 equals what? 5. So now, after I've multiplied, my answer is inside of my array. What is my final answer? 15. So 3 square roots of 5 times the square root of 5 is 15. Yeah.
How do you do the division of square root of 1?
Okay.
The square root of 3 divided by the square root of 1.
By the square root of 1. Okay. So now, what operation is being performed here? Division. So I'm going to use an array. But this time, since it's division, where do my numbers go?
On the other side.
On the other side?
Yeah.
If they're on the outside, what am I doing with those things? I'm multiplying. Okay, so what is my area? Square root of 3. So that is the area that's inside of my array. But how did I get the square root of 3? How would one figure that out? Earl?
You're trying to figure out the other multiplication pair for square root of 1.
So I need 2 things that will multiply to give me the area of the rectangle. I need a side and I need the other side.
Square root of 1.
Square root of 1. Okay, so I'm going to divide by the square root of 1. Now there are 2 ways that you can look at this. You can say, wait, I got the square root of 3 and I'm going to divide by the square root of 1. So the square root of 3 divided by the square root of 1 is?
Square root of 3.
The square root of 3. Or I could say square root of 3, and I could simplify this because this is a perfect square. What is the square root of 1? 1. Either way, I'm going to look at this and say 1 times what is the square root of 3?
3.
Square root of 3. And there's your answer. 2 times what?
3r.
Okay, 2 times 3r. What operation are we performing, Trent? So if we're doing multiplication, we're going to have our array. And where do our numbers go when we multiply? On the side. So what's going to go here? 2. And 2 is really 1 and 1 together, right? Okay, it's 1, and then I added another 1, and that gives me 2. What am I multiplying it by?
3r.
What does 3r mean? You know what? Yeah, it means 3 groups of r. So I'm going to have 3 groups on the side, and how big is each group? So there's going to be an R here, an R here, and an R here. And I'm going to multiply these things together. So I have 1 times R is 1R. How big is this piece? R. How big is this piece? 1 times R is R. How big is this one? So after I multiply 2 times 3 R's, what do I end up with?
6 R's.
I get 6 R's. Let's do that one. 4x plus 8 divided by 2. Now, Jasper, what are we doing here?
Division.
Division. So we're still going to use an array. But this time, where do my numbers go?
The other side.
Inside. And what goes inside? 4x plus 8. So in here, I'm going to have 4 x's and 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to divide this by 2. And dividing by 2 means I'm going to have 2 separate groups. When I get done with that, when those 2 separate groups, and I divide that into 2 pieces, or how much is in each piece? Travis?
2x plus 4.
2x plus 4. Do I have 2x plus 4 in here?
Yeah, you have 2 groups.
If I divided it by 2, then what do I have in each group? Okay. The other thing that I can look at is, what times 2 will give me 4 x's? What times 2 will give me 4 x's? Yes.
2 x's?
2 x's. What times 2 will give me 8?
4.
So I've got 2x plus 4. 2 times 2x plus 4 gives me 4x plus 8. Kind of slick, huh? 6p divided by 3. Anybody want to tackle this one?
Divided by 3. 6 pieces.
I think I get it.
Now, we can look at it this way because we've got 1, 1, and 1. You can say 1 times what equals 2p? 1 times 2p equals 2p. 1 times 2p equals 2p. 1 times 2p equals 2p. Or you can say, well, what times 3 equals 6p? 3 times 2p equals 6p. Another way to look at it, you've got, and we can draw it just like he did. Here's my 1, 1, and 1. That's my 3. But I can go this way and say, all right, I've got p, 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 and p. This way I see all 6 of my p's. And what is going to give me the 6 p's? 3 times what equals 6 p's? 2 what? I've got to have 2 p's. 1 here and 1 here. P and p. So 2 p's. Okay? Divided by the square root of 8? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Square root of 8. All right, so it's division. I start with my array. What goes inside?
30.
Square root of 32. I divide by the square root of 8.
And then
What times the square root of 8 equals the square root of 32? Square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? 2. Your answer is 2. Yes?
If we left it at the square root of 4, would it still be right?
It is still technically correct, but on your test, you are going to be asked to simplify to the lowest factor, or the lowest terms here. So if you've got to simplify, you have to give me 2. Which means you have to know your perfect squares. You have got to know your perfect squares.